right, welcome to math class. Good to see everybody here. Got our cameras on, ready to participate and ready to look at this week's lesson. Let me put it up on the screen where we'll be starting at mathematics. All right, this is our Algebra 1 class. We're going to start. You've already looked at the syllabus and course objectives. We've gone through that. This is week 1, so we're going to go ahead and start with week 1. You'll click here, and let me just give you a preview of what we're about to do. First, we'll go over our lesson. This first part is what we do together as a class, which we'll be moving at just a moment. After that, I'll have a link here for your practice of what we're going to go over here, and then your assignment at the bottom. So we'll go over that after we go through our lesson portions. Let me move over to that. We're going to solve this together as a class. So let's solve the equation 3x plus 2 equals 8. These are linear equations we're solving today, and we're going to talk about how to figure out how many answers each one has. All right, 3x plus 2 equals 8. If we want to solve that for x, what is the first step we need to do? How about Emery? Tell us what we need to do first.
First, you want to subtract 2 on both sides.
All right, we're going to subtract 2 minus 2. So that gives us 3x equals 8. All right, Royal, what is the next step?
The next step is you would divide both sides by 3, so we would just have an x equals equation.
Okay. So if we divide both sides by 3, 3 divided by 3 is 1, so it's just 1x. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Okay, we got our solution, x equals 2. So with a linear equation, the most you will have is one solution in this situation, right? X equals 2. There's no other numbers to give us. We do need to check that. So to check that, let's go back to our original equation up here, and let's substitute in 2 instead of x. And we got to make sure our solution is actually correct. All right, so 3 times 2, 6. Plus 2, 8 equals 8. Okay, it works out exactly correct. That verifies 2 is a solution. If we tried another number, just say, oh, well, maybe negative 2 works. So we can test another number, 3 minus 2, 3 times minus 2. So 3 times negative 2 is negative 6 plus 2 equals 8. We see negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. That does not equal 8. That is not a solution. So checking our solution is always important to do. So we can see that in this case, there is one solution, right? One solution. And the solution is x equals positive 2. So let's look at our next problem. I want to do this one together. All right, we have 2x plus 3 equals 2x plus 5. And again, we want to isolate just to get x by itself. So the first thing, just like Emery had pointed out in our last problem, is we need to move what's not an x to the other side. So we're going to subtract 3. All right, so we have 2x equals 2x plus 2. All right, and we need to move the x's to the other side, right? So put all the x's on the other side, negative 2x from both sides. So 2x minus 2x is 0. 2x minus 2x is 0 plus 2. 0 equals 2. How often does 0 equal 2? Anybody?
Never.
Never. 0 does not equal 2. So that means that there is no solution. None. There is no solution that would make work. There's nothing we can put in for x. Let's try one. Susan, just pick a number for x.
5.
So let's try 5. 2 times 5 plus 3 equals 2 times 5. I'll close our parentheses. Plus 5. 2 times 5 is 10. Plus 3 equals 2 times 5 is 10. plus 5. 10 plus 3 is 13. 10 plus 5 is 15. 13 does not equal 15. That is not a solution. And we can try every number that we want to try. We can try positive numbers. We can try negative numbers. We can try 0. There is no solution because we ended up with a statement that's not true. There's no variables. It's just 0 equals 2, and that's not a true statement. So that tells us there is no value for x that will make this equation work. So let's look at a third type of situation. 4x minus 6 equals 2 times 2x minus 3. All right, what's the first thing we need to do to solve this? Royal, what would we do first?
There's a couple different ways, but I would solve it with multiplying the 2, distributing the 2.
All right, very good. If we have parentheses with our PEMDAS, order of operations, right? P-E-M, PEMDAS, that we've learned and gone over many times. Parentheses would be first. So we're not going to do anything on this side yet. All right, now I'm not writing. There we go. 4x minus 6. Nothing on the left side, but 2 times 2x. Susan, what's 2 times 2x?
4x.
4x. So we have to distribute that here, and we have to distribute it there. So, Emery, what's 2 times negative 3?
Negative 6.
Negative 6. So we have 4x minus 6 equals 4x minus 6. Now we look at this, and right away we're suspicious because, of course, if we have the same thing on both sides, it is equal. But let's go ahead and solve it for x like we normally would, right? So we'd move everything that's not an x to one side, everything that is x to the other side. So if we move this 6 by adding 6 to both sides, right, we've got 4x equals 4x, right? Because negative 6 plus 6 is just 0. So those cancel each other out. We've got x's on both sides. Let's move all the x's from here. Negative 4x on this side. We'll subtract it from the other side as well. 4x minus 4x is 0. Over here, 4x minus 4x is 0. We've got 0 equals 0. That is a true statement all the time, right? No matter what x value is, the x disappeared. All we have left is 0 equals 0, which is a true statement. So that means that this has infinite solutions. Infinite solutions. Every x would work in this problem. Every x. Let's give us a little room to work here. And I'm gonna take this image off. Let's try a couple. Susan, give me a number for x. Just pick a number.
2.
2. So if we're saying x equals 2, 4 times 2 minus 6 equals 2 times, we're going back to the original equation, which means we have big parentheses. We're putting 2 in for the x. Okay. So on this side, we got 4 times 2 is 8 minus 6. Over here, we've got in the parentheses first, 2 times 2, we've got a 2 outside. We got 4 minus 3. So this will be 2 times 1, right? Over here is 8 minus 6. So we've got 2 equals 2 times 1. 2 equals 2. Well, that's a true statement. 2 equals 2. So that x was a solution. Emery, give us another number for x.
10.
Okay, let's go a big number then. 4 times 10 minus 6 equals 2 times 2 times 10 minus 3. Okay, 4 times 10 is 40 minus 6. 2 times, what's in parentheses? 2 times 10 is 20 minus 3. So we've got 34 equals 2 times and 20 minus, that's a minus. Minus 3 is 17. So we've got 34 equals 34. Every X we try will be true. So this is three different situations. In this situation, we have X has infinite solutions, infinitely many. Any X you substitute in this equation will work. The problem before that, we had no solutions. There was no X that will make this true. Whether we choose a negative X, a big X, a small X, even a fraction X, nothing will be true. On this one, there's only one solution, X equals 2. All right. So that is the three types of things you're looking at. So when you go to this Delta Math, all right, that's the next thing you do. Go to practice. After class, you'll log into Delta Math. You'll go to my class in there. When you click that, it takes you to Delta Math. And this is my teacher account. So your student account will look like this, right? When you log in there, we got lesson 1, which is this week. This is next week's lesson 2. But when you go to lesson 1, when you click on that, and this is practice for you, and you're supposed to determine whether this has one solution, no solutions, or an infinite number of solutions, and then determine two values of X that support your answer. So negative 6X 18, we'll do this first one as an example. So that, if we solve it on paper, is going to have one solution. And it says, okay, so what's a value that makes that true? Well, negative 6 times negative 3, which will make that 18 equals 18. Because negative 6 times negative 3 is positive 18. And then it says the value that makes it false. So just choose any other X. We say it's 0. Negative 6 times 0 will make the equation 0 equals 18. And then submit your answer. When you submit it, it'll ask you, is this what you're wanting to submit? And when you say yes, if you're correct, there's a nice check mark. And it will go through how the problem works. See, it solved it to show negative 3 was a solution, but it chose positive 3 as a false, which is fine. Any other value except for negative 3 would be false. And then it shows you at the bottom what you put as well. Now, even if you get it wrong, it's going to show you how to do it correctly. That's why I like this for practice. If you put in the wrong values in here and say this had infinitely many solutions, this will show you how to work it correctly afterwards. And so once you have 8 of these correct, this will show you are complete. Show you complete. So once you have 8 problems done correctly on Delta Math, it will show you're finished with the practice. Then you have this assignment. So copy these on the paper and solve them for X. You have 6 equations, 6X equals, either get, if it's just one solution, say what the solution is. X equals negative 3, right? But if there's no solutions, you say X equals none, or X equals infinite if it's one of those that has infinitely many solutions. So there's worth 2 points each. It's a 12-point assignment. Just show your work on paper and submit a picture of it. Take a picture of your work. You can also do it on a document if you want and submit the document. It's just easier to do math on paper sometimes. The only other thing I'll show you, there's a discussion board here for week 1. If you're having problems, if you have a question, type your question in here. Let's put it on the discussion board. Put your question in here and then come look at this, even if you don't have questions, because maybe someone else has a question and you can help answer their question. I'll check this as well and I'll give you feedback and help on here. But this is just a discussion board we can use in class to help each other if someone's stuck on something. Maybe you're thinking wrong or something that you missed a step. And you can just describe the problem here and be able to help each other with that. So that's our week. That's our lesson for this week. Our next lesson will be here. We'll talk about that next week. We have a discussion board for week 2 and all of that. So let me get back here. Any questions? Everyone understand what we're doing this week? Sound good? All right. Email me if you have problems. Oh, Susan raised the hand.
Oh, when is this lesson due?
It's due Sunday nights. You got till midnight, Sunday night, 11:59. But that's it. If you have any problems, you can email me. I'm available all week. But there you go. We'll see you next time.